Hey y'all, I just want to give you another warm-up video or something you can use in the morning just to wake up and get your body moving as a good way to start your day. So we're just going to start by standing. You don't need any props or tools for this one, so I just have a yoga mat on my rug here, but we're just going to start with some arm swings. And we're just going to rotate everything. As you do this, try and keep that chest nice and high. We'll just go big arm swings backwards. And big arm swings forwards. Making sure to squeeze your butt cheeks together, draw your belly button in. Your feet should be nice and flat on the floor. Okay, so now we're going to go into just a little chair pose, but we're going to use this as a movement test to see kind of how we progress through this warm-up, but also we can use it as a movement test overall. So what we're going to do is get our feet together. We're going to keep our knees together, everything nice and tight. We're going to reach our hands up, palms up. We're just going to squat as low as we can without going up on our toes or without really going down and just rounding our back around. We're just seeing how low can we squat, and we're just going to give it a little bit of a hold here. All right, then we're going to come back up, and now we're just going to work on a few pieces that really limit us in our squat, the ankles and the hips. So let's go ahead and squat down. Just take our regular squat. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to really focus on my foot tracking backwards by putting pressure in my heels as I let my knee track forwards. So I'm trying to keep my full foot flat on the floor and really driving my heel down as I drive my knee forward. We don't want you letting that arch collapse, so we don't want that knee coming in here. So really try and keep that foot nice and stable. And we're just on the right side, just trying to get that ankle moving a little bit better. So full foot, keep that heel pinned down, and now we'll move to that left side. Just kind of leaning into it. You can always put your hands down. Main thing we're looking for again is making sure we keep that good arch and we're not seeing it collapse with the knee coming in. Keeping weight on the heels as you drive as far forward as you can. All right, now that we're down here, we're just going to work on the hips a little bit. So we're just going to get in a tabletop position. I'm going to pick my right leg completely off the ground. That's going to put a lot of pressure on my right. Sorry, I'm taking my left leg off the ground. It's going to put a lot of pressure on my right leg. And then I'm going to try and just relax and kind of sink into that. I'm really just trying to let gravity take my hip and put it in the back of its socket. So that femur bone is, we're putting pressure through that femur bone to try and set that hip in the back of its socket. So we can do things like send our hips back to our heels, but if you feel any pinching, as soon as you feel pinching, we're just going to come right back up. We're just trying to relax the area, let gravity help us get our hip in a good position as we go back and forth here. All right, let's go to the other side. So we'll pick that right leg up this time, weight on that left leg. Just try and relax for a little bit. For me, I'll protect a lot and then push away. And I'm really just trying to let myself sink down in there. So then when I start adding some movement in here, I'm trying to focus on keeping the pressure through my knee. Really just trying to help that hip find where it should be in its socket. And again, if you feel any pinching, we're just going to go to that point and we're going to come back up. Couple more. All right, so now we're gonna get back into our squat stance. Let's put that focus on that full foot being on the floor. So my toes and my heels are all on the ground and I'm twisting out. You can kind of see the yoga mat start to kind of crinkle just a little bit because I'm putting that torque into the ground. And we're just gonna do 10 really slow air squats, just focusing on everything staying perfect. So I'm not trying to just go as low as I possibly can. I'm not turning my feet out so I can get into a lower position. I'm really trying to just keep everything as perfect as I can with my feet mostly straight, only going as low as I can go before I start feeling myself run into my hips and getting limited by my ankles. So we want to develop those good positions, not find workarounds and get good at workarounds. All right, I don't know how many reps that was. We'll do one more. All right, so now we'll stand up. We're gonna go back into that chair pose, so feet together, knees touching, palms up. We're gonna squat down. Really pay attention to your feet. You're trying to keep the heels down and drive the knees as far forward as you can. We're just gonna spend a little bit of time. Draw your belly button in. Seeing if we can get a little bit lower without compensating in any way. All right, let's go ahead and walk into down dog. We'll press through. We'll wiggle our feet around. Your hands should look just like they would in a push-up, so I'm twisting in. My elbow pits are trying to face forward. And I'm really pressing through to mimic what an overhead position would feel like. Okay, from here we're just gonna go down to the knees, so we're gonna reach through, try and get that chest as high up to the ceiling as you can. I like to push with my right hand to help me rotate more. I'm just trying to relax and breathe here. Let's go to the other side. So we'll reach through, let everything go down. You can put your head on the mat if you want. I'm using my left hand to push further as I reach with my right hand. All right, now we're gonna do kind of the same thing, but a little different. We're now gonna try and keep your shoulders and your hips from moving. So I'm gonna reach under and I'm gonna pull on the ground. So your shoulders are gonna move, but this one and my hips are gonna stay in the same spot. So I'm not gonna let myself come down here. So I'm only gonna try and make my upper back rotate. Take a few breaths. I like to pull on the ground with my left hand. Let's go to the other side. Use the ground. Breathe. All right, now we're just gonna sit back. You can walk your hands in more, put one hand behind the head. We're gonna kind of do the same thing. We're gonna use this position to block our lower back from moving. We're just gonna rotate up, give it a breath, and then come back down. Rotate up, give it a breath, come back down. Let's do this a couple more times. As you do it, try not to lean with your lower body with it. Try and keep even pressure on both knees. One last one. All right, let's go to the other side. So left hand, rotate up, breathe, and back down. We're just going as far as you can without doing anything weird. One more. All right, so now we're just gonna clasp your hands behind your back, push the chest through, lean back, lift the hands up. So I'll turn this way so y'all can see. Lean, lift the hands up, and then let them drop and round everything. lean, and let's just go in and out of those. Then keep your hands clasped. We're going to lift it up, and then we're just going to lean forward. We'll let gravity do some work. You can bring yourself up on your hips a little bit more. The focus is on the upper back. All right, now we're just going to sit back down. We're going to put our feet out in front of us. We're just going to stretch down and come up a few times. So stretch down, come up. Try and stay nice and tall. You can do some where we kind of round into it, but let's try and go up and over the hip a little bit more. Just reach as far as you can. And let's take one leg, cross it over the other one, and we're just going to rotate towards that leg. So I'm going to the right side, twisting and breathing here. Then I'll go to the other side. All right, last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use kind of my ankle bone and my shin just as a foam roller on my quads. And I'm just going to kind of check in here and just start smashing around. So just like we would with, sometimes we would lay a barbell over us. Sometimes we'd use a foam roller. But I'm just going to kind of push down a little bit. And I'm just trying to use my bones here as a foam roller just to try and get these tissues moving around. So I'm just exploring my whole quad. I did a workout yesterday with a whole bunch of air squats and then air squats with a ruck on, and so my quads are pretty beat up. Today we've got thrusters later, which is a pretty quad dominant exercise, so giving a little bit of extra love into these quads is going to be a good thing. Just continuing to smash around here. All right, let's go to the other side. Do the same thing. If you struggle with this position, then you can get out your foam roller or something, and you can even lean in just with your elbow. This position is not something that's a huge deal, not a huge focus. It's just a novel way to kind of smash the quads here since we were already down in this position. Let's give it about 15 more seconds. All right, hope y'all enjoy your day.